It is day 18 or 19 of this journey to be a broker, and one of the biggest things that has kind of come up. And I tried to do a recording yesterday midday. Of course, it didn't work out because I had technical issues. I had calls coming in and all those things. So, as we know, doing business, things will happen. As the quote, I think it says, "We make plans and God laughs," just because it's always in His hand and His power. So with that being said, one of the big things I wanted to talk about yesterday was just how you move before you're ready. And I was actually meeting with my fellow classmates who went through the training together, training mates, I guess you could call them. And we went through the program together. But one of the things that I talked about, and another one of my training mates said that too, was that you move before you're ready. You try to move before you're ready. Everything's not going to be perfect. Everything's not going to be ideal. You just try to move. And the idea is that the earlier you move, the more you'll be able to iterate, the more you'll be able to get better. So one of the things that came up for me is that honestly, I feel like probably a better time for me to start everything would have been maybe in the March or April, which we're talking about 4 or 5 months from now. And the reason I say that is because I felt like there were so many things, so many reasons not to start today, not to start when I did, I should say. Some of them being bringing on new team members for the marketing company. Some of them being like having a baby on the way. Some of it being like having to start and then stop again when these things happen. Or maybe I should kick it off at the beginning of the year. Or maybe this is not the correct the quite the amount of revenue that I want. But I kind of adopted this mentality of like, hey, I'm just going to continue to move before I'm ready and see how these things are just going to go and just hold faith that these things are going to ultimately, work out more than anything else. So I've been excited about, getting to take these steps and getting to continue to kind of be better. One of the big things that I really wanted to do and really wanted to focus on was just reminding people that there's never a perfect time. The perfect time is now. I think there's a quote, the best day to plant a tree is today, or plant a seed today. I think it's a tree. It's today. The next best or the best day to plant a tree was yesterday or yesterday. The next best day is today. So do what you have to do today. Um, as you probably know, I'm the king of butchering quotes. But the really big concept and idea that I really wanted to hammer home is I always say on the podcast that success is much more like a plate of spaghetti. So when we start to tap into that, we start to realize that it is truly about iterating, it's truly about getting better. Success is not a linear path, it's not a straight line. Often, the people that have made the most successes have failed the most, they've tried the most, they've experimented the most. And I had some really good calls yesterday around this idea. I have a guest that's coming back on the show. We talked a lot around experimentation and how if you really look at yourself as a scientist and we embrace that mentality, it's going to allow us to have the levity of trying new things and frankly have the levity around quote unquote failing, not doing things right. And I think that's really where the power is. That's really where the freedom is because you just end up being like the kid where you're trying out different things or the scientist or the artist or whatever it might be. You get to try out those different things to get to where you want to be. So I think that's a really powerful place to be because in this world and in this time, there's such complex problems that need to be solved. And there needs to be people that have that range of experiences. I always talk about the book called Range, that are able to kind of lean on different varied experiences to be able to solve the problems of tomorrow. So when we talk about moving before you're ready, what you want to try to do is move, but you also want to try to do it in a low risk situation as much as possible. So it could be, doing your first video around your podcast journey or your franchise broker journey or whatever journey you are on right now. It could be researching some ideas. It could be having a talk with a broker about starting a business. It could be just putting out a survey. Whatever it is, there's a small movement that you could take, but move now and figure out how to iterate from there. And I think that's one of the big journeys that big things of the journey that I wish that I knew more about. And what I wanted to capture is like, I'm doing this before I'm ready. I'm doing it before it's polished. And that's why, you should definitely do the same because you're going to get more from the data of what worked or what didn't than from not doing anything at all. So make sure that you continue to take action and make sure that action is definitely messy.